Hi, boys and girls.
One of the things I like about coming in the forest is you get to enjoy nature, the fresh air. One of the things I don't enjoy about it is finding garbage like this, and this is just the small pile they left. We have an even better one over here. What a bunch of asses. Their taste in cleanup is about as bad as their taste in beer. We're at our garage, and I have a vehicle here I've been waiting for a long, long time. Perhaps you've been waiting too. The 2016 GMC Canyon with a new diesel engine. Well, the engine isn't totally new. They've been making it in Asia for many years, but it's new to be over here. Onlookers will know you're driving the diesel version because it says so right on the hood, if they bother to look. There's also the bazooka-sized exhaust system that sticks out. Overall, this is a nice-looking truck. It should be, since they copied most of the styling off the full-size GMC Sierra truck, which is also an attractive shape. A nice clean design from the rear area, too. Another outside emblem to let your neighbors know you forked up the extra $1,700 for the four-wheel drive system. The cabin is a nice modern design, although I'm cheating. I had the upgraded optional interior. There's adequate room in the rear, but only for 2 full-size adults. I don't think putting 3 in here is going to work. The bottom cushions do fold up if you want to store some large items on the floor. It's dark enough. Let's take these headlights out and see how they perform. Here we have low beams on a wall 100 feet away, more than adequate light, which I would expect since we're sitting high off the ground. High beams, really shining out there. Again, we're sitting high off the ground. Here we have the high beams on a building 300 feet away, really lighting up the whole countryside here. I guess we won't be running brights in city traffic. Low beams, excellent. Obviously, if you do not driving at night, you won't be bitching about these headlights. Ooh, the hookers are out. Yep, better run. For part 1 of this video, we're going to look at the diesel engine and how it compares to the gasoline V6 and 4-cylinder engines in the GMC line. The horsepower of this Duramax 2.8 diesel is 181. Compare that to the V6 at 305, or the base 4-cylinder at 200. Obviously, with the 3 power plants, this one puts out the less amount of horsepower. It isn't about horsepower, it's about torque. That's the amount of work the engine actually does and creates the pulling power when you're towing or pulling a heavy load in the bed. The V6 puts out 269 pound-feet of torque. This tiny little diesel beats it totally at 366 pounds-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. That's actually better than the 5.3-liter V8 that's in the full-size GMC truck that puts out 355 horsepower, but at 2,000 RPM the torque rating is only 300 compared to this at 369. Yes, at higher speeds, around 4,000 RPM, the V8 will take this one over as far as numbers go, but it's only 383 pounds-feet compared to this at 369. Here's what it comes down to, viewers. In a drag race where horsepower counts, this GMC is going to be slower than the V6 or the 4-cylinder. 0 to 60 time is listed at 9.1 seconds, which I found to be pretty close. By comparison, the V6 does 0 to 60 in around 7.5 seconds, and the 4-cylinder 8.5 seconds, if I recall. Keep in mind the performance figures I'm giving you, 0 to 60, are for a truck with an empty bed, which means no cargo at all, just me, the truck, and gasoline. Also keep in mind we don't have a trailer hitch attached, nor are we towing anything. Remember what I said, this small engine has the same basic torque capacity as a large 5.3 liter V8. So if you're doing a 0 to 60 time with a 7,000 pound trailer attached, this diesel is going to pull far ahead of the V6, especially when climbing hills. For those interested, the towing ability of the V6 is 7,000 pounds. The towing ability of this diesel is 7,600 to 7,700 pounds, depending on which book you read. But it's not about towing capacity as much towing comfort. This engine is not going to be strained pulling a load. The V6 is going to have to do some work. The second advantage of the diesel over the V6 is fuel economy. In general, the V6 will average around 20 miles per gallon in mixed driving, and this 25 miles per gallon in mixed driving. From a matter of economics, it means in 100,000 miles of driving, you'll save yourself about 1,000 gallons of fuel. The question is, will that be enough to pay for the diesel? Figuring an average of $3 per gallon, let's say you save $3,000 in 100,000 miles. If you look at the window sticker, it says the cost of the diesel is $3,730. Well, obviously it's true, it wouldn't be in writing, but what they don't tell you is that's $3,730 over the price of the V6, which is approximately $1,600 more than the 4-cylinder. So now our toy just jumped up in price around $5,200. But wait, there's more. In order to get the diesel, you can't get it in the standard cab. You have to order the double cab 4-door, which starts around $30,000. And some excess luxury trim or the 4x4 system. You get the idea of where we're going with this. Add a premium audio system, another audio system package, red liner, that's a good buy for $475 by the way, copper red metallic paint, $395, drive alert package, by the time we're all done it's $44,365. You might be able to shop around and get one for a couple thousand cheaper than this, but you know, why bother? Once you're over the $40,000 mark, you might as well go high hog and get everything and enjoy yourself. Okay, we've covered fuel economy, performance, costs, but there's a fourth thing you need to know about before you buy a diesel. And I know I'm going to get some hate mail on this because there are a lot of people out there convinced that diesel engines last forever, far superior to gasoline engines. No. Yes, those giant semi-trucks you see on the highway hauling 10 tons of gear can run 300, 400,000 miles. But remember, these engines that they have are 4 times bigger than normal and put out 4 times less horsepower number. In other words, they're designed from the ground up to run forever. Most of the diesel engines and consumer products aren't designed to do that. Basically, the life expectancy on the average is about the same as a gasoline engine, which is 150 to 200,000 miles. If you take good care of it, keep the oil changed all the time, you know what I mean. If you don't get anything out of this video, get this. Even if you had an engine that lasted 20 million miles, it isn't going to matter because the rest of the vehicle is going to be pretty well shot at the 200,000 mile mark. Yeah, you can nurse them and get more mileage, but you're only replacing parts, which make it far more expensive versus trading it in and getting a new one. The fact is, most gasoline engines, if properly maintained, will last the life of the car, so don't debate whether the diesel is going to do it more or not, because it really doesn't matter. Bottom line, the main advantage of a diesel is pulling ability for towing. The second advantage is fuel economy, but you have to rack up a lot of miles to make it pay for itself. And those are the 2 main reasons for getting a diesel. Enough said. All you diesel buffs are getting ready to send me some hate mail over my comments on the diesel, which you really shouldn't. It's a good engine. Let's jump in and take a ride in this for the second half of our video. Here's a tip for you. If you get in a GMC Canyon, put your seatbelt on before you turn the ignition. Otherwise, you get this loud chime that blows your ears out. I don't know if you can tell how loud it is on the camera. Seems to be a GM feature. I've noticed in stop-and-go driving, this electric power steering, I'm told it's electric, I didn't look. It's not too bad. Seems to have reasonable feedback. in response. But that's at low speeds. When you get on the freeway doing around 70 miles per hour, there's no on-center feel. In fact, there's no feel at all. It takes a lot of getting used to. It's not really a complaint. It's something that just needs to be adjusted for. Also, even though this is considered a compact truck, the turning circle is about as wide as a full-size truck, so squeezing in a parking space isn't that easy. Once we get over the minor quirks, such as the loose power steering and the inability to park better than a full-size truck, this is a very pleasant vehicle to drive. It's relatively quiet on the freeway unless you hit a large pothole and those giant tires kind of overwhelm the shocks. But it's no big deal. Hey, it's a truck, right? Not a Cadillac. Another positive feature has to do with the climate control, because I've never been in a GM car that had lousy air conditioning. And same thing here. It's nice and cold in here. Don't send me any emails asking me why there's so much wind noise in the truck when I'm on the freeway. That is not wind noise, it's the air conditioning blowing at full blast. Which is what you do when it's 119 degrees outside and climbing. Like I said, GM has excellent air conditioning. 19.6 miles per gallon doesn't seem like a lot, but this is all city driving. I've been running the throttle pretty hard, doing acceleration testing and the like. So overall, this isn't very bad. Because it was the V6 being driven in the same conditions, I'd be looking around 15 to 16 mpg. And we have a lot more driving to do, especially on the highway. So stay tuned. The diesel Colorado is an excellent highway vehicle. The ride is very smooth, at least with the suspension configuration they gave me. And the wind noise is very low. Although you are hearing wind noise on the audio because I have the air conditioning full blast. It's 110 degrees outside, and I want to stay cool. But aside from the air conditioning, this is a very quiet vehicle and comfortable too. And you don't hear that engine at all. They did a good job of quieting it down. We're climbing a steep grade here, and this is where the pulling power of the diesel really shines. I've been passing cars like they're standing still, and the engine isn't strained at all. Far better than the gasoline engine. What are the advantages of having a four-wheel drive system for off-road and an all-wheel drive system for the street? Especially when you're driving in 30-mile-per-hour winds like this. Oh, enjoy the rain. Now I don't have to wash the truck. Enough highway driving. Let's take it off pavement. Most potential diesel buyers are concerned about real-world fuel economy. Officially, the EPA says it's 20 mpg in the city, 29 mpg on the highway, and 23 in mixed city highway driving. This vehicle got 19 to 21 in the city, 24 in mixed city highway driving, and on the freeway long trips we average 26 to 29 depending on the speed. So overall the EPA figures are pretty accurate. By comparison, the Colorado I had previously with the little 4-cylinder engine and the manual transmission got around 18 in the city and 23 on the highway. The fact we've got more pulling power than a V8 gasoline engine, yet getting better fuel economy than a dinky 4-cylinder, I'd say that's rather impressive. It's just unfortunate the cost of emission on a diesel engine in the Colorado is rather high. Here's my take on the Colorado diesel. If you're in the habit of towing up to 7,000 pounds and don't want to go to a full-size rig or want an underpowered gasoline engine, this is definitely something you should be looking at. If you're not in the habit of towing much, I think the basic gasoline V6 will probably serve you better. In the end, I can say I really enjoyed driving this truck, and I hate to give it up. But give it up I must to get another vehicle. If you'd like to see the test we did on the 4-cylinder GMC, we have that link coming up right now.